What's up guys, this is Chris here, and today we have what you've all been asking for. This is the CZ P09 C, or the CZ P07 Generation 2 to me, because the P07 is one of my favorite guns of all time, and this is an upgraded version of that gun. It is a double single action pistol with a 4-inch barrel and a polymer frame, and it has some new features that the previous P07 didn't have, including the optics mount. This has a micro optic direct milled mount, so if you want to run the small hollow suns or the Vortex Defender, which we have here, or even the SIG optics, you can now do that without a plate system, which A, makes the optic lower, B, makes it more durable. It limits the amount of optics you can use, but part of that is due to how they can mill this slide. Because of the way the slide works, they can only fit the micro optics. And there's a lot of guns like that, which is totally fine because micro optics today are not what they used to be. Now, they're on the Shield RMS pattern, but I wouldn't recommend that optic. I would go the route of the Defender, the Hollow Sun, or the SIG, because they are very durable and reliable optics for affordable prices that you can fit right on this. Now, it also co-witnesses with the iron sights, of which we have new sights as well. And then we have some new texture on the grip, and you can change the backstrap, which you didn't used to be able to do. Now, I left it stock because I like the way the P07 feels. I might change it in the future, but honestly I just wanted to come out and shoot this, so I didn't change too much. We just added the optic because I never had an optic on a CZ P07, and I added a light because we're going to be doing a review of this TLR7 here in the future, and it looks kind of cool as well, and I think it's fitting especially for a self-defense gun. Now we have some new slide serrations here as well that are going to help grip the slide. So you can go in the front or you can go from behind the slide, which is important because the CZ P07 has those internal slide rails, so it makes the slide a little bit smaller. Now it's harder to grab, but it lowers the reciprocating mass and it makes the recoil and pulse a lot lighter than traditional guns, in my personal opinion. Now we have a really good grip on the gun, and the trigger is pretty good too, especially in single action. I think we have somewhere around a 4 or 5 pound pull on the single action, and then the double action I think is something like 8 pounds, but you'd have to check the website. That's just my current hillbilly trigger scale. So we're gonna take it out today and we're gonna shoot a bunch of rounds through it, and we're just gonna have fun. Let's give my first impressions at the end. Now before we do that, I do want to mention my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys very much. It's because of you guys we have ammunition to shoot today, and we really appreciate you. And if you want to help the channel, all you have to do is go to the link in the description of this video and every video and sign up. Also in that description is a link to a local shelter in Ames, Iowa. It's the YSS. Those kids could really use your help, so please go down and click that donate page and donate to those kids. And lastly, we do want to thank CZ for sending us this pistol. All right, so the gun comes with 2 15-round magazines, but they take the older magazines, so I have a bunch of them, although we only have one loaded up right now because we're going to zero the Defender. Now, since I just moved and we're on the new range, I actually don't have any paper, so we're gonna try to zero it on this Wilson combat target. So basically we're gonna get kind of a combat zero today, enough to do the video and enough to shoot within 100 yards, but not something where I can go back a long way. Where'd those go?
I don't know.
I know it's hitting it, but I don't know where it's going.
It's just below the bull. Don't go the wrong way. It's a good group.
Yeah. Well, I've shot these before.
I know you have.
All right, nice. Stacking them on top of each other. That works. In the box, it comes with a decocker and a safety. I'm personally gonna run the decocker, I prefer that. But if you wanna change it to a safety, you can. Now we're gonna be running the P09 magazines, or the P10F magazines, I should say, and see if those work. And we're also gonna check maybe they don't work. Doesn't wanna feed from these mags. Okay. Well, that was fast.
So the P10F mags do not work?
It doesn't appear that they do.
Okay.
Shoots like a P07, that's for damn sure. I'm not used to the dot. It's weird. I keep going to the iron sights because I'm so used to the P07, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I have a dot.
Have only ever shot the P07 a little bit, so I don't have a whole lot to compare it to. But first of all, I do have to say I like these sights a lot better than what was on it before.
Failed.
It did have a fail.
That's a MagTech 115 grain. Keep the camera rolling.
It is stuck.
So what's happening is it's getting stuck on the extractor, and that's what happened with the P09 magazines as well. And then when I have to clear that, I have to lock that open, and that round is still stuck in there, even when it's locked open. So
did I double?
Did it happen again? It happened again?
It did.
Okay, well you got through that mag. Fail. Lock the wrist, apparently. Nice. You hit me with every one of those spent casings.
It's still a budget gun, right? You know, I mean,
yeah, a budget gun known around the world for reliability.
Well, maybe it just doesn't like MagTech.
We switched up ammo. We're running a little Federal, and we're gonna try just running the tires here and see if it works a little bit better. More targets here than I used to have. I'm not sure what to do with myself. I always forget those don't fall over. I shoot them like 10 times. I mean, it runs great for me. Maybe it likes me better.
I think you have better wrists.
Yep. Let's go this way.
I must not be giving it enough pressure.
Man, it's a jamming machine with you running it, huh?
Must be. Must be me.
There we go. Now this is what keeps happening here, and this is not supposed to happen. And it feels like even when I run the slide back, like you'll see in a minute, it gets stuck on there, and one of them stayed just stuck on the extractor right there. And this one is like nosedived into the side of the chamber, which is a very uncommon type of malfunction in my personal opinion. I can't even lock it back now. I have to like really rip it to get it out of there. This is a brand new gun, and we're past the 100-round break-in period now, and we're still having consistent failures. The reason why I don't think I'm having them is because I have a lot of recoil control.
So much recoil control.
And my wife has pretty good recoil control. She's got fit little hands, and she shoots guns a lot. So even though it's two different shooters, I think this should be working. I mean, we're using this is the third type of ammo now that we've used as well, and still having fails. So not happy so far. Another failure. Another failure to feed too. Another failure to feed. Same malfunction over and over again.
That one I can't do the tappy.
I'll get it. Same malfunction. Getting stuck right on the chamber there. Nothing should be obstructing that from going in there. Another failure.
Okay, maybe it doesn't like any of the ammo that I'm shooting. All right, I guess I only got a couple rounds left.
I gotta tell you, out of all the guns, this is not what I expected.
I don't think I want to shoot any more of this ammo.
I'll shoot the rest. Now I should stress that we have lubed this with Slip 2000, and we are running all 115 grain 9mm. This one we're gonna try something a little bit different. This is polymer frame 9mm ammunition. This is 1776. I've already tried 3 brass cased, very common ammunitions that should work, so I guess I'm gonna try something weird and see if that helps. Now it worked for me just fine. So it makes you wonder if you just need to have really good recoil control.
Apparently I just was not giving it what it needed.
I would argue though that that's still a failure because, I mean, every normal person that buys this is probably gonna have similar recoil control to you.
Yep.
As opposed to like me, Bubba, or Nick, or somebody like that.
Yep. Oh.
Nope, failed on me.
This is not.
This is the biggest disappointment of the year. This is my crying face right here. It's accurate at least. All right, I'm gonna cut in quick because we were watching the footage while we were editing the video, and it dawned on me something that I didn't see in the actual shooting experience, because sometimes it's hard to decipher what's going on in real time. Now, after I reviewed the footage, I found out that the only malfunctions I had were with the P09 or the P10F magazine, and that didn't work, which I guess is fine. However, I had a malfunction with the polymer framed ammo. Now, my wife had a bunch of malfunctions, mainly with MagTech 115 grain, but also with Federal, and then she did have some malfunctions with the 1776. So I think part of the malfunctions that at least were happening were due to the fact that my fingers go over the slide release like this. So I'm not pressing the slide release at all. While I was watching the footage, it sort of seemed like her thumb was pushing up on top of the slide release, which in theory could slow down the slide enough to cause some of those malfunctions, but just a theory. I'm not sure if that's actually what's happening or if it's the gun's fault. So I just wanted to give that possible theory, and we'll talk about it more in the full review. All right, now let's talk about my first impressions, which aren't what I thought they were gonna be. I would argue that right off the bat, this is one of the most disappointing range days we've had this year. Now, that's due to extremely high expectations. When I first saw this gun get released, I couldn't want it more. It was my winter carry gun for years. Not only do I love that gun, but I trusted it with my life and my family's life for many years. Part of that reason is because it was one of the original polymer frame double actions. Part of that reason is because I've had a huge amount of success with CZ as a company over the years. I also shot a Shadow 2 in competition for many years. So it made sense to go from my competition gun to my carry gun and have the same ergonomics, have the same trigger, etc. Not exactly the same, but pretty close. I like carrying a double action because I tend to carry appendix, and in the winter I want something very large trigger guard that's very reliable. The CZ P07, the original, was extremely reliable with all types of ammo, including hollow points, and particularly the hollow points that I use, which are the SIG ammo and the critical defense. But this one has a lot of new features on it, but what it lacks is the heart. What it lacks is what I loved about the previous gun, which was 100% reliability. Now, don't get me wrong, we got into the break-in period, but we shot 300 rounds today, and at the end of the range day, on the last magazine of the 300 rounds, I still had another malfunction. There was just a myriad of different problems. Initially, we were experiencing the same malfunction, which looked to be a failure to extract, but we started to have failure to feed as well. Now, the gun was lubed up with Slip 2000, and it is new, and it was sent to us from CZ. One of the things CZ used to be famous for was breaking in firearms at the factory. They would run the slide 500 or 1,000 times, so you didn't require a break-in process. Now, on top of that, the double action design is a very reliable design, and normally CZs, again, have a very reliable gun. So I would say we probably had, what, you maybe had 6, 7 failures out there today?
I had to karate chop a lot.
Yeah, maybe it was more than that, more like 10 malfunctions, and I had 2 that I can remember, right?
1 or 2.
Yeah, I had 1 little bobble, and then I had 1 that was a failure to feed. At the end there, when it was already broken in while being lubed up. Not only did I lube it up before, but I lubed up a little bit during the process once we started having the failures to see if that would work it out. The gun comes with 2 15-round magazines, and it does have features that I like. I like this memory pad they put there. I like the new texture. I love the new sights, and I really like that you can put a dot on it from the factory. That being said, you can get the old one and have Cajun Gunworks put a dot on it, and it'll still run really well, whereas this one, I'm not so sure. Now, the gun itself had really good recoil control, which is another thing I like about it, and it was extremely accurate. Now, part of that is due to that I have like tens of thousands of rounds on this platform, and I can shoot the iron sight version of the P07 out to 150 yards. So So shooting this with a red dot at 50 yards was not that difficult. Now I would say the trigger on this is a little bit worse than mine because I had mine done up by Cajun Gunworks. However, it's still really good out of the box, and the single action on this is going to be better than most striker fired pistols, aside from maybe the PDP or the Canic, or maybe that new M&P Performance Center is still really good. The double action, however, is a little bit rough, as they tend to be. It's a $500 gun after all, and the double action I would say is around 8 pounds, although it will keep your nutsack safe when you carry appendix, and that's what's important because your nutsack matters. Now the combat hammer feels really good. The stippling felt great. I really love the stippling, and I like the fact that you can have the back straps. Another thing that I had an issue with was we tried the P10F magazines, and they also did not run in the gun. Overall, I would say that I like the way the gun shot. I just wish it was 100%, and if it was 100%, I would have recommended it right out of the gate because I'm such a fanboy. But it just wasn't. And we're gonna do a full 1,000 round review, and hopefully things iron out over the course of the next 700 rounds. Although in my personal experience, if you have a lot of problems after the 100 round point, you generally continue to do so. So if I get maybe 500, 600, 700 rounds in, we're still having problems, I guess I'm gonna have to contact CZ and see if they can take the gun back and fix it. It is a new gun, it is a new release, but it's also an old design with the old trigger mechanism, and I feel like they should know how to make a double action gun by now. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please help out your local homeless shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.